What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sisters. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sistas. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
All right, Sisters fans, hope everyone is doing well. I figured with the mid-season finale upon us, why not do a great, kind of a perspective video where we talk about the relationship status of somebody aside from Andy. I've just gotten tired. I did a video a few days ago about being done with Andy and just her constantly turning down good men, or should I just say any man who's better for her than Gary. That's pretty much the best way to sum it up. So before going forward in the video, please take a moment to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content. And follow me on my social media platforms. Links are in the description below. 2 quick points here. It is very, very windy today. So if you hear any kind of howling in the background, it's the wind. And also, I don't know what the heck the people in the apartment upstairs are doing. I heard a vacuum going a few seconds ago, as well as hammer. So hopefully the microphone does not pick that nonsense up. But here we go. We're talking Zach and the women that he could possibly end up with. Or should I just say that we've seen Helena, Officer Rhea, Fatima, and Carden. And of course, we got Zach himself. So what I decided to do, I wanted to talk about these 4 women and their interactions that we've seen with Zach. And from 4 to 1, with 4 being the lowest and 1 being the highest, I just wanted to rank, in my personal opinion, from the person Zach should end up with down to the person who I feel like is the least compatible. So we're just going to go over these 4. If you disagree, by all means, feel free to let me know in the comments and tell me why. Like, hey, you should have picked Carden instead of Fatima, or maybe the ranking. But I feel like, in the comments, I might actually post a poll in the community tab. I feel like most people would probably say Fatima should be the one Zach ends up with. That's just my general guess at the beginning of the video. But let me go over my 4. I'm not trying to change your mind, but just let me know that, in the comment section, if, well, Jeremy, you know what, the way you broke it down, I think that I might change my mind. So here we go. Number 4 is Helena, who, if memory serves, she was in season 1. She works at the airport with both Danny and Zach, and she pretty much was looking out for Zach when he was on, when he was pretty much down on his luck. I believe like her or her family owns like a shelter for, pretty much those who have fallen on hard times. And I think this was after Carden had kicked Zach out of their apartment because, a mix of things between him cheating, the STD scare, and just Zach being a freeloader. Carden was done. So he was staying at the place, and this was prior to him moving in with Danny. So he had no place to go. He was staying with, at the shelter. Those two hooked up maybe once or twice. I don't know how many times, but they did have sex. So when it got to a few episodes later, where it looked like Carden and Zach were actually about to kind of make amends, I want to say that in the photo on the screen, the picture with Zach and Carden, when Karen's trying to hug him and he's like, wait, what? I think this is when things were actually getting back in good terms between the two. But then Helena said that she was pregnant, and that kind of screwed things up. And it turns out she was lying in order to keep Zach for herself. So that's why, to me, Helena is number 4, because of the fact that that's a big ass lie to tell, and it's a horrible one too, because that just affects lives. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. Okay, I don't know what kind of siren's going on. Okay, let's try to ignore that. So basically, it's like, like Zach cheating and whatnot, and then possibly STD scare, that's bad. But pregnancy, that's the thing. It's like when you know for a fact you're not pregnant, but you just say that for the sake of getting someone not to leave you, that's very, very stressful, not to mention just downright wrong. So Helena is number 4. I don't think her and Zach would make a good pair. We get to number 3, and believe it or not, I got Karen at number 3 simply because of the fact that I'm not saying Karen is completely bad. All I'm saying is she's justified in how she feels towards Zach because of the fact that a lot of people like to, just talk down about Karen about remembering that, guys, Zach was not a good boyfriend. He was a freeloader. He cheated. He didn't have a lot of drive and ambition. However, I'm not saying he wasn't capable of it, but I feel like Karen's worst offense is the fact that she seems better at tearing down than building up. Because just the way she was able to like tear Zach down verbally and whatnot, that affected him. And we see this when he interacts with Fatima, and I'll get to that soon enough. But I think that Karen's loud mouth definitely didn't help the relationship. However, you could argue that her verbal abuse pretty much played a big role as his cheating and whatnot, because who's to say that if Karen wasn't a bit more caring and understanding, that Zach wouldn't have cheated. Now, again, I'm not blaming Karen on Zach cheating. I'm just saying that, when a woman is talking your ear off and talking about how you ain't this, you ain't that, a man will try to go find comfort in the arms of somebody that actually appreciates him. So I just feel like overall, I think that Karen and Zach really aren't good for each other. I just feel like I feel like in a slight turn of change of events, when you really look at both shows, Karen and Zach almost seem like Calvin and Miranda to an extent, where Miranda saw a lot of potential in who Calvin could be, but he was not that same man when they were together. But now that they're on the verge of divorce, he's finally become the kind of man that she wanted to be with when they were married. I kind of feel the same way about Karen and Zach, where when Zach eventually makes his come up, that's when Karen's going to realize what she could have had and try to get him back. So I think that these two are better off about each other. And I'm not even going to mention Aaron because I just want to focus on Karen and Zach. And like I said, the biggest fumble with Zach's character this season was when he went to that damn hotel, broke into the room, and got into a fight with Aaron. If he had not done that, Zach would easily be my favorite character of the season. That one setback was the only thing that made me go, damn it, Tyler Perry, why'd you have to do that? Now we get to number 2. This might come to a surprise. I'm putting Fatima at number 2. And you're probably thinking, Jeremy, you're wrong. This is ridiculous. Fatima Zach for life. I just feel like learning that Fatima is a player and just dates to date and whatnot, I don't think that's the kind of woman that Zach needs, because I love the fact that she gives morning affirmations, quick to jump in bed. She sees Zach's potential, pretty much wants to build him up so he can succeed. In a lot of ways, if you take away the love scenes between the two, they actually would make for great siblings, or, besties, if you will, because Fatima definitely feels like an older sister that looks at Zach as somebody who she wants to help out because they're family. I know that's weird. It's like, hey, I got an extra bed you can sleep in, or hey, let me help you out with this program. So I feel like if it wasn't for the scenes between them involving sex and kissing and whatnot, it's almost like Fatima's looking out for a little brother, But at the same time, she's a player, and she's definitely the fixer-upper kind of gal, if you will. Like the girl that takes a guy with a checkered past but has tattoos and muscles and fixes him up and kind of sends him about his way. So I feel like if it wasn't for like the relationship aspect, Fatima and Zach would just be great siblings or friends. And I'm going to put in my honorable mention right now, because honestly, I should have put this person as number 5, but I honestly didn't want to have this person in the conversation because of the fact that I feel like, similar to Fatima, Danny is almost like Zach's sister. So the honorable mention is Danny. Like, going back to season 1, I know a lot of people, including myself, talked about, man, Zach and Danny will probably end up together or whatnot. But it's like, nah, they're just again, either like play cousins or, siblings, and, those two kids that get separated in class because they talk too much and have a good time. I think that Danny and Zach are great because they definitely have, I think when you really think about it, I think Danny and Zach have amazing sorry, must be a big truck outside. Zach and Danny have amazing chemistry because, correct me if I'm wrong, but based on the interactions that Zach has had with all these women, I feel like, Helena was only looking out for herself because she wanted Zach, hence why she lied about the pregnancy so he couldn't go back to Karen. Karen really only was about tearing Zach down. Fatima had Zach's best interest at heart, but Danny and Zach definitely look out for each other. Like, they call out each other on the other's crap. Like, Danny when it comes to Zach's shortcomings, when it comes to dealing with Karen, but then also Zach calling out Danny for how she's handling the Preston situation. So it's really these two looking out for each other. And it's probably like, well, why don't they end up together? I don't think so. I think these two definitely have a better dynamic when they're working as friends. So, and roommates and buddies. So I think Danny is an interesting honorable mention, but I don't think she should be in the conversation. So then we get to number one. I think Officer Rhea is, in my opinion, the woman who I think Zach should end up with because of the fact that they have great chemistry. She's obviously attracted to him. And they had a really great moment when he was locked up because it definitely seemed like she was having a bit of a revenge moment there. So in a way, you can almost compare it to the Helena moment where she wanted to fake a pregnancy to keep Zach. Whereas, Rhea was like, hey, what would you do if I said I can get you out of here? But then we learned that essentially in the past, I guess the best way to put it is Zach deflowered Officer Rhea. And as a result, she's had a bad relationship with men ever since. But it forced Zach to really kind of man up in the moment, realize the person he was back in the day, and try to move more cautiously in the future. So I feel like Rhea was kind of a slap in the face given Zach's past. Helena was almost like a threat to Zach in the present, considering that he had just come off the heels of cheating on Karen, STD scare, and now Helena gave him a pregnancy scare, which was a lie. Fatima is almost, again, another throwback to the past because looking at how Zach dealt with their first interactions, he was like, look, I want to be cautious here because Karen was pretty much the same person you are now, but then it just went south really fast because I'm trying to get myself together. I'm trying not to make the same mistakes. And then, of course, Karen is yet again another callback to his past because she was the one who helped him out when he had a rough time when he first got out of jail and everything. So it's almost like, it's like they say, everything you do comes back to you in some way, shape, or form. And I mean, technically Fatima and Zach aren't even together, so we don't even know who she's dating outside of Zach at the moment. I mean, currently it seems that she's only with Zach right now. I mean, we know her and Hayden had like a one night thing, but that was a while ago. He's the one that hasn't moved on. So I definitely feel like looking at Officer Rhea, it's almost like her being reintroduced in Zach's life was a way to hint. I feel like if nothing else, Officer Rhea was the one who made Zach give himself a self-evaluation. Because Karen was more of a, you ain't nothing. Look at you now in the present. You ain't crap. You're never going to be crap. You need to do better, Zach. Fatima believes in Zach and sees his potential, but I feel like Rhea gives him the best look at who he was as a person in the past and who he is in the present, and he wants to be better as a result. And I definitely feel like those two would make the best couple out of these four. 5 if you count Danny, which I don't count. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with how I rank these women with Zach? I put Rhea as number 1, Fatima number 2, Karen number 3, and number 4, Helena, with an honorable mention for Danny. Now, let me just say, I've talked about the women and how they rank with Zach, but just looking at Zach himself, I really think, and this could be said for a lot of characters in these Tyler Perry shows, Zach really needs to work on Zach. Get himself right with the chain breaker, start making some real money, establish himself, and then get into a relationship. Not only that, the maturity aspect of it, like in the last episode, where he told Fatima that, you know what, I'm just going to stand on my own for now, essentially refusing to explain why he switched up on her. And now it seems like she probably is going to be in her feelings because Zach pretty much kind of brushed her off. So that makes, one think, will she kind of just decide to make Zach her one and only? Who knows? So With that being said, I had a lot of fun doing this video. This was a great video to kind of come back from my brief hiatus on. I hope the comment section blows up because I really want to get the discussion going. So let me know your thoughts on which character do you think Zach should end up with and why. Also, go ahead and like and subscribe, as I mentioned before. Join the Sistas Facebook group because we have a great time in there talking about the show day in and day out. Shout out to the patrons over on Patreon. If you want to donate there, feel free to do so for $1 a month, or you can hit me up on PayPal or Cash App. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next video.